Good morning. Welcome back to Jan's Front Porch. I have to thank absolutely everyone who took time to watch my last vlog. I had a blast doing it, although you would not believe how much is going on while I'm sitting here in this swing. I'm trying to avoid everything, and I keep having to stop and start and delete and stop, start, and delete. And anyway, thank you. Thank you. So many people have said so many kind, sweet things to me and given me so much encouragement. My family and my friends have been awesome about it all. I've gotten a lot of good laughs with a lot of people about it, and I'm just grateful. My whole mission here is to talk to people who may not have anyone to talk to them. Also to encourage people and to help you in whatever way I can. If I can just bring a smile to your face, I've been successful with what I'm doing. And I am so very grateful. I did get one comment. One of my former students sent me a text. And she's gone through a horrible, horrible few months. She lost her best friend in a car accident. He was one of my students too. Loved that kid to death, and I love her. I miss him, and I am so grateful I still have her. Wonderful children. They're not children now; they're adults. Oh my goodness! How did I get students in college? How did that happen? I'm not. I should still be in college, but she nearly brought me to tears with the things she said. And sweetheart, I'm praying for you. You're going to be on my heart the rest of my life. You've always got a second mother right here. Thank you. And I want to encourage you again, live life. And there is a message that's showing up, a text message on my phone, and I hope that's not showing up in the video. If it is, I'll have to do this again, won't I? Anyhow, sweetheart, I know he's gone. He loved you, and he will always love you. He's loving you from heaven. Don't stop living your life. You keep going, girl. You got a lot to offer, and I expect you to give it. People need people like you. Now, my painting update. Let's talk about my living room. Wisteria Snow is gone, people. One of my former teachers and one of my friends, they did just what I told you to do. Get down there and tell me to finish my living room, and I did. Now, I do have a smear on my door, but I'll take care of that. I think I can fix that pretty easily. But my living room looks really good. I'm proud of it, and I'm glad I've got that behind me. I've decided my living room is going to be my next project. Did I say living room? My laundry room, the other L word. My laundry room is going to be the next word. Old Turner, I had him get in there and pull those freezer. I have a big chest-type freezer, and I also have an extra refrigerator in there, and it's a pretty good sized laundry room. Besides the washer and dryer that's in there, I've got 4 major appliances in that one room. And I've got those pulled back from the wall, so I may be going to Lowe's later today to get, are you ready for this? Cucumber peel is going to be the color. I've gone from Wisteria Snow to cucumber peel. It's a real pale, pale, pale green. I think it's going to look nice. I'm going to give me some white curtains and hang in there, and it's going to have a whole, fresh, clean, new look. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I haven't even done it yet. I love it. Going to get this done. I told you last week, too, that I did some cross-stitching, and one of my friends, a lady in Florida, said, oh, I can't wait to see your cross-stitching. Well, I'm not sure I really want to show it, but I'm going to. I promised you I would. This piece I'm working on, and y'all, I probably got 20 projects going, but this is the one I've been working on, focusing on. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to put this up there. This is called Antique Rooster Sampler. Y'all, please excuse my fingernails. I didn't paint. Antique Rooster Sampler by JBW Designs. JBW is actually, her name is Judy Whitman. And she's a very prolific, very famous cross-stitch designer. Been at this business for a long time, and I'm gonna try to show you some of what I've done. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's roosters with the alphabet. Usually, when you have a sampler, you're gonna have some alphabet to it. It might have another motif or, well, a lot of different motifs. Samplers were first done back hundreds and hundreds of years ago by young girls who were learning how to sew. And they're still very popular. Now, you know, it's not the young girls, it's us old women who are doing them to stick them up on our walls as decoration. Cross-stitching is very soothing for me. I love it. It is a very calming thing to do. I remember my mother used to sit at night and crochet. My mom was the kind who could crochet with something that looked like, let's see, looked like this. She didn't use yarn, she used thread, and she crocheted tablecloths and bedspread. I have a bedspread my mother crocheted with the teeny tiniest hook you've ever seen in your life. I can't do it. I can crochet, but I have to have the big Afghan yarn. I can't do the thread kind of crochet. But she was so good at it, and she'd just sit and do that at night. Daddy would be watching television, and he wanted her to be able to talk to him. So she wouldn't be reading, she'd be crocheting and watching TV with him and talking. And we have a lot of wonderful projects that she did. I'm going to try to incorporate some of the lace that she made into some of the pillows and finishes that I'm going to be doing with my projects. And I hope I can get that done. I have plans. I'm terrified I'm going to tear up her lace. But that's one of my long-term goals. One of my bucket list items is to try to use some of my mother's work in my work, kind of incorporate it. Funnies of the week. Let me see. Turner's always doing something. I just love Turner. He's the best man in the whole wide world. God sent him he was an answer to my prayer. He sent him to me. I'd been divorced for 10 years. Raised 2 children, virtually on my own, you might say. And got them through college. Or they got themselves through college. I'm not sure who was raising who. It was a rough time. God was with me every step of the way, but I prayed to God every day to help get me out of this nightmare I was living. And the guy he sent me was a guy I started to school with in 1st grade. Turner and I went to school grades 1 through 12 together. He actually sat behind me in one of our high school classes, and I remember it was right at the end of the school day, and we'd sit and wait on the bell to ring and just sit and talk to each other. But we never dated. My daddy honestly would probably have shot him off the front porch if he'd showed up to take me anywhere. Steve, his real name is Steve. I call him Turner. He, like most teenage boys, had a wild streak, and it took him a while to grow out of it. And he's turned into the finest man imaginable. He and my children are the greatest blessings of my life. And he's accepted my children as his own, and that means more to me than anyone could ever imagine. More than you could ever imagine. So, let me tell you what Turner did this week. I try to have supper ready for him. He works long hours. He gets up before dawn to get ready to go to work. And I'm just jiggled the table, and I'm sorry. And I'm swinging. I shouldn't be swinging. I'm probably making y'all sick. I'm sorry. He gets up really, really early to go to work, and sometimes he doesn't get home till late. And I try to have supper ready for him on the table when he gets here. Now, he might have to microwave it to warm it up, but he's always got dinner every day. Might be leftovers, but he's got home cooking waiting on him. Well, I decided I was going to barbecue. I was going to heat up the barbecue grill and do hamburgers and hot dogs. I had fixed homemade potato salad, and I'd fixed some broccoli salad to go with it. And of course, we had fresh country tomatoes, ripe tomatoes, all sliced up. That's country cooking to us. That's the food we grew up on. Now, Turner, y'all may have noticed, I hope it's not just my man, men don't like to do anything on a small scale. Am I wrong? Y'all notice that? a couple of years ago, we decided we needed a new grill. Our old gas grill had just pretty much turned up its toes and gone away. And so Steve's like, I want a Traeger. Y'all know what a Traeger is? One of the pellet grills. It's as big as the end of a house. And you got to put these things that look like dog food in it in order for it to burn. It's like trying to, if you're trying to do just hamburgers and hot dogs on it, it's like trying to kill a fly with a rocket launcher. All you need is a little charcoal grill for that. You don't need a big Traeger. Traegers are great if you're going to smoke a pork shoulder or something like that. Do a Boston butt. They're awesome on if you're going to make genuine pulled pork barbecue. But just to dish up a few there's just two of us. 6 hamburgers and a pack of hot dogs. That's sufficient. We don't need to light a bonfire to do that. So I hauled myself off to the Walmart, Sam Walton store, and I got my own little barbecue grill. Got my charcoal briquettes. I like the matchlight because I don't have to deal with pouring that stinky stuff that, well, you're about to find out. My problem this time was that my matchlight apparently had gotten damp in the basement, and it didn't want to light. When I put the fire, I tried matches, I tried fire sticks, I did everything in the world trying to, short of gasoline and a stick of dynamite. I did everything I could to get this barbecue going. And when Turner got home, I said, you're going to have to cook supper, which really burnt me up. That hurt my feelings that he had to come home and do that. He's like, you just need a good fire. Now let me tell you something else about men. Me and Turner, we're nearly 60. We're closing in on 60 years. But there's still a streak of little boy in that man. Most men, he'll get that smirk on his face, and I know what's coming. I know it's not going to be good. Whatever he's thinking, it's not going to be good. This is going to be an experience. It's going to be a moment to remember. So here Turner is. He shows up and he said, let me show you how to do that. I just walked away. I don't know how he got the fire started, but he did. He said, grill's ready. So I came back and I started to put the meat on the grill part, the metal rack. He said, oh, no, wait, you gotta do one more thing. I'm sitting here going, what? Don't make me suffer. Well, you know that spray, Pam cooking spray? Well, here he is. He's got it. And over that open fire, he's spraying the grill while the flames are just shooting up everywhere. And I jump back 10 feet and I'm yelling, Turner, stop it. And he's over going, what? You know, it's that little boy got to set something on fire moment. And I didn't stick around to watch him actually light the grill, but I was there to see him attempt to incinerate the two of us, not to mention set the side of the house on fire. But he was quite pleased with himself. He got a good chuckle out of it, and I think I maybe ran him off with the spatula. Don't let Turner set anything on fire. He spends way too much time having fun doing stuff like that. Now, that was Turner's only big whoop this week. I'm sure there'll be more. Now, we had Bible school. Our church had Bible school this week too, and I helped out in the kitchen. That's fun. That's real fun. Bible school used to be the highlight of our summers when we were kids. We'd have a week-long Bible school down at the Baptist church, and every kid in town would show up. I've never seen so many kids in my life, because back then people didn't have a whole lot. Small town, there wasn't much going on. We didn't have swimming pools in our backyards then. If you wanted to go swimming, you had to go to the next town over to do it. most families were middle-class workers, and they could only take a vacation when the company said they could. And few of them really actually had the money to go somewhere. So when Bible school came around, everyone showed up for the fun. Maybe not so much to talk about Jesus, but to play with each other and get the cookies, Kool-Aid, and popsicles. That was the highlight of our summer. Well, the other day we had Bible school, and I was there working in the kitchen, and a bunch of us girls just sitting around chatting, waiting on the kids to come in, and we were talking about what else we were going to be doing in the near future. And this one girl popped up and said, well, we're going to go to Florida and visit my son. Her son's a football coach down there. And I thought that was so sweet. Mom and Dad going to go watch his first football game of the year. And she said, yeah, we're going to fly. Listen, you've never heard the laughter when she said, our plane tickets cost $38. And I was sitting across from Beth. Beth and I just looked at each other and both about fell out of our chairs. $38? What? I think I said something, what are you flying on, a bicycle? I mean, if I'm flying, I expect a substantial plane to be carrying me. And we all know, if we fill up our cars right now, we're spending between $50 and $75 just for gasoline. Can you imagine how much jet fuel is? Think about it. $38 plane tickets. That night, Turner and I went to Jackson, ate out. No place fancy. I think we went to the spaghetti store and ordered chicken. We had chicken dishes. Our bill was $60. And I'm sitting there, Turner was signing that receipt, and I'm sitting there going, I could have flown to Florida for the price of this chicken. Anyway, could have gone to Florida. But anyway, again, we were sitting there just talking at another point in time. We'd gone out to the sanctuary to watch the kids play, and I was having a blast watching them play. Watching children play is just wonderful. They are so uninhibited, and they're so natural, and I'd kick the table again. And it's so much about fun for them. They're not self-conscious. They're not worried about what anyone's going to think or say. And I wasn't really paying attention to what was being said around me, but I heard someone say, and the teachers have to use the correct pronouns. And that got my attention. I started listening. Long story short, there's a neighboring county here who has a student who has registered for school. She didn't register as female. Her parents didn't register as a male. Her parents registered her as a cat. No, I'm not kidding. I was just a cat. The child identifies as a cat. And this is how far it's gone. I don't know if they filed a lawsuit or if they threatened a lawsuit, but the school board has ordered the school to put a litter box in the bathroom for her to use because she identifies as a cat. This is just another reason why Jan does not teach school any longer. A cat. I told Turner about it, and he said, you know what, I'm going to take one. We got a dog named Maisie who's she's half border collie and half blue heeler, and she is an incredibly smart dog. He said, I'm gonna take Maisie. I'm gonna register her for school. Y'all remember Green Acres, the show Green Acres? Arnold Ziffel, the pig, Fred Ziffel's son, that the pig that went to school. That's what I'm sitting here going, that's what we have come to. Our society is now the sitcoms and the humor, the things we used to laugh at. That's what we're reduced to now. Mercy. I'm calling that the Miss Kitty episode. I'm calling the child Miss Kitty. I don't know her name. They say it's been in the newspapers, but I don't read those things. But it brought up another something to me. It's been 2-3 weeks ago. I think it was July 12th, to be absolutely honest. Let me see if I can pull it up. I posted a meme on my Facebook that I copied from somebody else. I don't remember who it was from. I saw it and I'm like, amen. Let me see if I can I should have already had that pulled up. But it basically, it said, you can find me on Facebook. You can find it. Basically, it said, "Dear transsexuals, if you couldn't accept yourself the way you were, why should I have to accept you the way you are?" This thing of calling men by feminine gender pronouns and women by male gender pronouns, I ain't gonna do that mess. You gotta be kidding me. I'm trying to pull up. And anyway, this teacher that I used to teach with, she was a young girl. She was the same age as my daughter. They had gone to college with. She has now moved to another state. But after she left, she friended me on Facebook. But I hadn't heard a word from her since she left several years ago. But she posted on Facebook under my meme. I think she said something like, "I had no earthly idea you were such a hateful person." Now, I'll be honest, I've been called a lot of things in my past, but I've never been called hateful. And I just posted back that I can't remember exactly what I said, but something like, I feel like mental illness should be treated, not encouraged, and that we need to live in reality and not follow the whims of whatever anyone wanted. I believe there are some absolutes in life. But she sent me back a message on Messenger privately after that, and she said, and I'm going to read this to you. She has unfriended me, which I don't mind. I'm sorry she felt like she needed to do that, but this is the mentality of young people today. She sent me this. She said, "For so long I thought so highly of you and that you were a kind woman. Today you really solidified that the hatred for people not like you far outweighs any kindness." Let me get my cursor where it needs to be. And she said, "I hope you never have to encounter any of the mean words or actions that people in the trans community have to face every day." And I wrote back. And I said, and I called her by name, but I said, "We disagree about something that is important to both of us. I don't hate anyone. That is your judgment of me. You said I was hateful. I could have returned the compliment to you. I know that people are different, but I believe that mental illness should," hang on, I've lost my place again. I've got the sun coming in on my screen and I can't see real well. I may have to refilm this video, people. "I believe that mental illness should not simply be accepted, it should be acknowledged and treated. I want everyone to be happy, but telling someone to do anything they want to is not being loving towards them. Boundaries are needed by society. I wish I was rich and beautiful, but I have to accept my life as it is. I'm not going to live a lie. Anyone who is male and wishes to be female and vice versa is avoiding something painful within themselves that should be addressed." Just being one sex or another doesn't solve anything. And I sent a follow-up to that, and I said, if you can't accept me as I am, perhaps you should unfriend me, and she did. Now, I don't know. This is a hot issue in society today. How this transgender issue should be handled. But I was reading in my Bible this past week, and it resonated with me. Let me put this somewhere where I won't knock it off in the floor. I was reading in Genesis chapter 3, and I was on verses 1 through 4, and it says, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, 'Did God really say you must not eat from any tree of the garden?'" Did God really say? And the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die." Verse 4, "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." It was Satan's idea. It was Satan's idea to first convince us that we could be free thinkers, that we could be like God. He planted those seeds of doubt in Eve's mind about her Creator, about her God, the person who loved her, and she had loved in return. Satan pretty much said, you can be independent. You can set your own rules. You can decide who and what you want to be. Because when you're God, you've got all the power. God just doesn't want you to have the power. He doesn't want you to follow him. For God knows that when you eat from that tree, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God. You will know good and evil. I wish I didn't know any evil. I wish I'd never done evil. I wish I'd never seen evil, encountered evil, experienced, watched. Satan said, "Does God really say that? Does God really say? Did God say?" Did, questioning God. If the enemy can make us question God, he can also convince us that we can actually handle our own lives. If you remember last week, I said we don't have control over anything. I'm still saying it this week. We don't have control. We can't handle anything. We don't have any control. We have to have God in our lives, or we're not going to come out of this business on the sane side of the river, and certainly not the saved side of the river. Satan wants us to be self-sufficient and not need or turn to God at all. He wants to stand between that. But we have to understand we can't be self-sufficient and be okay at the same time. We can't have both power and control over our lives and still be humble servants of God. And that's what we're called to be. If you remember what I said about Max Lucado last week, the last vlog, I said something, our sole purpose in life is just to live in Him, to rest in Him. Matthew 23 verse 12 says, "Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." When we choose to be humble servants, we choose to live most like Jesus. We need humility in our lives, and that's one of the things that's wrong with this world right now. There's no humbleness. No one wants to be humble because they think that's weak. They think that's weak. Some of these people are out there thinking, well, God made me the wrong sex. God made them. He created mankind. He made them male and he made them female. What I want to ask you to think about is, what do you think God's withheld from you? Is he withholding anything that you feel like he ought to give you? And don't say, oh, no, I'm fine with God, because that would be us really lying to ourselves. Because of sin in the world, we constantly struggle. We know that we are saved sinners, but we still butt heads with God. Think about Paul, who had the thorn in his side. Remember that? He had the issue that he prayed to God repeatedly to remove from his life. And finally, he had to accept no. God told him, my grace is sufficient for you. Has God withheld anything from you that bugs you? Did you pray to God asking him to save your spouse or your child from a drug or alcohol addiction? Are you angry at God because someone in your life died? Because he didn't protect them from that horrible early death or the painful death? I'll be honest, my parents died terrible deaths. My father had cancer 3 times, and he was so diabetic, he lost both of his legs. He had half of his body left when he died. And my mother fought Alzheimer's for 5 years. And if you've ever seen anyone fight Alzheimer's, have to live that kind of life, you've lived through hell with them. It was horrible. And I'm not ashamed to say that I sat by their bedsides and I prayed for the Lord to take them. I prayed for them to die. Not because I didn't want them around anymore. Not because I didn't want to be bothered with them. But because it was the most merciful thing I could do. As a Christian, I know there's a better life out there. You know, we're not just here by accident and then we're gone. We're dead. It's over. No, I don't believe that. I believe we're here for a purpose, and that purpose is for us to join in fellowship with God, both here on this earth and after we're gone. I believe we will be with the Lord, and I believe my mom and dad are with the Lord. Now, if you're holding a grudge against God, I'm begging you to let it go. God answers every prayer that's given to him. Every prayer he hears, he answers. You might get what you ask for, but he might also say, no, my grace is sufficient for you. Or he might be saying, wait a minute, just wait, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. My pastor this past week made a very valid point. A lot of people stop praying to God because they don't get what they want. It's like kids on the playground. If they don't get their way, they're going to pick up their toys and they're going to go home. They're going to leave. They're not going to play anymore. Don't treat God that way. God loves you and his arms are open. Don't get mad and say, forget it, God. You didn't give me what I wanted and I'm leaving. You have no earthly idea what you're doing to your life and to your soul when you do that. And I'm begging you to forget about whatever it is that's bugging you and give it to God and walk away. A whole lot of problems in this world, but the only solution is the Lord. I believe that firmly, completely, and totally. And if you've watched until this point, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful to have you in my life. And please, I've got my video set up so that you can, at the bottom, you can scroll down and you can leave a comment. Or if you just have to go to Facebook and comment, do that. I don't care. But please hit the like button and subscribe, because when you do that, that puts me in the algorithm that YouTube has, and it allows my videos to go out there further to other people so that I can maybe have an influence on them. And that's important to me. I want to help people. I love helping the same ones over and over and over again, but there may be someone else out there who needs to hear what I have to say. I need to hear what you have to say, so let me know what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm all right. I can handle it. I'm a big girl. You wouldn't be the first person to tell me I was wrong about something. Please know that I love you. God loves you. You are never alone. God walks with you every single step of the way. I'm always here for you. And until next week, thank you. Tell your mama and all them I said hey. Take care. Bye-bye.